Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to All Faiths Unitarian Congregation. Today we are celebrating Youth Day. So the slogan for today is, "The world's biggest strength lies in the youth. Youth is not just about enjoyment and merriment, but also about becoming responsible and wise." So I'm Regina Kilmartin, and I will be the worship associate today. Here at All Faiths, you will find a diverse and inclusive spiritual community where we welcome people of many faiths. You can bring your whole self, your full identity, your questioning mind, and your expansive heart. At All Faiths, we have more than one way of experiencing the world and understanding the sacred. So no matter who you are, where you are on your spiritual journey, and no matter whom you love, you are always welcome here. Is anyone visiting for the first or second time? Third time? Welcome. Welcome. We're glad you could be with us today. If anyone would like to know more about All Faiths or Unitarian Universalism, they can see Fran Way, our membership director, who's always in the back corner and very knowledgeable and willing to share her knowledge with you. There are some announcements on the back of your order of service. There was one change. There is no Rainbow Connection after the service today. They'll resume in September. And also not on here is, you saw somebody selling tickets out front on September 3rd. We are going to have a cookout and a celebration to start the church year and welcome our new lay minister, Albie at that time. So we'll have a nice big celebration. You can sign up to bring a side dish, or you can buy your tickets out front from March de Galbo. I believe Annalie Hudanik has something she would like to say. This whole month is Share the Plate with Operation Joy. You can just write Op Joy in the memo line of your check.
Good morning. School is back on in Lee County. They started on Wednesday, so watch out for school buses. Now, every year Operation Joy back to school collection benefits the children of Lee County. Same will be this year. I spoke with Lisa of the St. Martin de Porres mission on Palm Beach Boulevard, and she told me they were able to get 350 back-to-school backpacks filled with school supplies and also 350 pairs of sneakers, which is wonderful. And now, you know that Operation Joy deals in practical. We don't do frilly. So after talking to her, I believe your donation this year will go to the other needed item, which is socks. What good are good new sneakers if you have bare feet or socks with holes? It's just not pleasant. So I'm hoping with your generosity, we will be able to buy a lot. And also the other needed item, which is just as equally unpleasant, lice shampoo. It costs $20 for a bottle. So if you are on a limited income, $20 for that is just, that's just outrageous. So yeah, that's what we're gonna buy, socks and lice shampoo, and I appreciate your generous donation this year. Thank you.
Socks aren't as cheap as they used to be. Now, if you would please rise and body your spirit as we sing together hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of the change.
chalice lighting words today are by Cheryl Block. It is a call and response, so I will lead the call, and you can respond with the words that are in your order of service. I'd like to ask my sister, Linda, Michelle did it last week with her sister, to come and light our chalice. Spread the nepotism. And as Linda lights the chalice, would you please follow the words that are in your order of service? In this sacred space,
Let us be still in the quiet.
in this sacred space,
Let our hearts open as a butterfly's wings.
in this sacred space,
May the glow of this light shine within us.
Good morning, everyone. It's such a joy to see you here today. August is here, the summer is passing, the temperatures are rising, and the sun is shining, and all the trees in McGregor are gloriously green. So I'm always so grateful for that. At this time, we share our joys, sorrows, and gratitude. So if you have something you'd like to share, please come forward. Nothing happening in your lives? All right. Okay, Robert's looking so much better today. Robert, we're good to have you back with us.
Thank you. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I shared about how I was having an eye operation and also how I had fallen onto the sidewalk and knocked myself out and got some stitches. Well, my eye is, the pressure is under control now, and so I'm not having migraines. So I'm happy about that. I do have to go to Naples to the Eye Institute twice this week, and this will be my, I guess, 6th and 7th time over there. But first thing is to stabilize the condition, and then they can do laser surgery and then give me a synthetic cornea down the road. Hopefully that will work. Anyway, I do want to say to my sister Audrey, this is bigger than me. I just found out today that she has gotten COVID, and she lives up north Florida. She's had her shot, so hopefully it's not going to hang on too long. But please hold her in your heart.
We'll hold her in our hearts, and we're so grateful that you had successful surgery, and you're looking so much better than the last time you were with us. We're glad that you're healing well. And Judy, Alberta has something really special to share with us.
That might be an overstatement. I want to just share the joy that I found in the garden, the memorial garden. There's a beautiful, beautiful orchid. It's pink and it's blooming and it's big. And I hope everyone will go out to see it. It's just so glorious. I've been here almost 7 years and I've never seen it before. So don't miss it.
Could somebody take a picture on your way out and send it to Judy? We can print it and put it up. Linda's saying someone should take a picture, and I want to express my gratitude to Judy. I thank her every Sunday when I come and I see the beautiful gardens and beautiful flowers. She's down here twice a week keeping this place beautiful. Sharon, did you have something?
Yeah, Sharon Gray. Just a little bit of an update from our friends, Jeff and Eileen Moran. They had an opportunity to go, y'all know they were getting their house, their manufactured home back together in North Fort Myers after the floods. And it's halfway finished. But they went to Europe with 2 of their teenage granddaughters, and they had a lovely time, but came back with COVID. And they're fully vaccinated also.
Okay. I'm lighting a candle for Michael Pierre. As you know, Michael's one of our shy members. And Michael is having knee surgery tomorrow, and I hope the surgery goes very well and that he'll soon be back for us and singing with his boisterous, magnificent voice. I always say he's kind of like Tennessee Ernie Ford. So we're blessed to have you with us, and we hope you have a wonderful recovery. Thank you. And I'm lighting this candle for all of you who have joys and sorrows in your heart. Okay.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's too early in the season to tell you about the Gators football, but you'll be hearing from me in a couple of weeks. Joan Marshall, that wonderful soprano voice that she would share with us, has been absent. She fell, as you probably know, and injured her right knee, and it's preventing her from being with us. The good news is that she and her daughter are sharing a unit together in a condo that's being paid for by FEMA because of the damage to their home. So she's doing well, and will return to us as soon as she can. If you would reach out to her with an email or a card or whatever, and wish her well and encourage her in her healing, that couldn't hurt. Thank you.
Okay, so we're lighting this candle for Joan for her recovery. And may you all reach out to those who are not able to be with us and give support to people who need it. There's so many people that feel all alone, and it makes a big difference if you call them or reach out to them.
At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to close your eyes, take a deep breath, center yourself, and let us turn our minds and our hearts to today's service as we contemplate our blessings. And now if you would rise in body or spirit as we sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the strings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Our opening words today are from Malala Yousafzai, the young Nobel Peace Prize winner. Wonderful, yes, she is. Outside his office, my father had a framed copy of a letter written by Abraham Lincoln to his son's teacher, translated in Pashto. It is a very beautiful letter, full of good advice. Teach him, if you can, the wonder of books, but also give him quiet time to ponder the eternal mystery of the birds in the sky, the bees in the sun, the flowers in the green hillside. It says, teach him, it is far more honorable to fail than to cheat.
Please refer to your order of service words on the back of the missalette for our opening response. We all love the little children, all the children of the world. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in our sight. We all love the little children of the world. Everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. Everything is beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. There is none so blind as they who will not see. We must not close our minds, we must let our thoughts be free. For every hour, every pass, we must, the world goes a little older. It's time to realize that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night on a snow-covered winter's day. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. We shouldn't care about the length of his hair or the color of her skin. Don't worry about what shows from without, but the love that lives within. We're gonna get old again now. Everything is gonna work out fine. Just take a little time to look on the good side, my friend, and straighten it out in your mind. Everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way.
Today's reading is titled, "And How Are the Children?" by Patrick T. O'Neill. Among the most accomplished and fabled tribes of Africa, no tribe was considered to have warriors more fearsome or more intelligent than the mighty Maasai. It is perhaps surprising then to learn the traditional greeting that passed between Maasai warriors. Kasirian and Jira. One would always say to another, it means, "How are the children?" It is still a traditional greeting among the Maasai, acknowledging the high value that the Maasai always place on their children's well-being. Even warriors with no children of their own would always give the traditional answer, "All the children are well." Meaning, of course, that peace and safety prevail, that the priorities of protecting the young, the powerless, are in place. Maasai society has not forgotten its reason for being, its proper functions and responsibilities. All the children are well means that life is good. It means that the daily struggles of existence do not preclude proper caring for the young. I wonder how it might affect our consciousness of our own children's welfare if in our culture we took to greeting each other with this daily question: and how are the children? I wonder if we heard that question and passed it along to each other a dozen times a day, if it would begin to make a difference in the reality of how children are thought of or cared about in our country. I wonder if every adult among us, parent and non-parent alike, felt an equal weight for the daily care and protection of all of the children in our community, in our town, in our state, and in our country. I wonder if we could truly say without any hesitation, the children are well. Yes, all of the children are well. What would it be like if the minister began every worship service answering the question, how are the children? If every town leader had to answer the question at the beginning of every meeting, and how are the children? Are they well? Wouldn't it be interesting to hear their answer? What would it be like, I wonder? And now if you would please rise in body or spirit as we sing hymn number 121, Come Build a Land.
We'll be singing verses 1, 2, and 4. We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all more. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land of peace this born. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come build a land where the mantles of praises resound from the spirits from faith once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come build a land, my people we sing. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's so good to see you. I'm looking all the way in the back. There they are. Good morning, and I see some friendly, familiar faces, some visitors. Welcome, everyone. My name is Alberita Johnson, and you can call me Albie. Makes it much easier. Well, today is a day that we honor our children. As a matter of fact, it's International Youth Day for the United Nations. So although we may not have many children with us, and I think it's because school started, and they're busy preparing and all of that stuff. They already got started. I remember the other day, I think it was Friday, I went in Target, and I'm in the Target, and I'm thinking to myself, where all these young people come from? Just hanging around in there like it was a park or something. And I thought, there must be a school nearby. I was all the way in Cape Coral. When I came out, I'm driving around the parking lot, and I was correct. It was a school right behind the Target. And I guess the kids, when they get out, they just come and hang around Target. And you know, in some areas you can sit down. They were sitting down like they were in the living room just talking. And I said, okay, young people. Sometimes I wish that I was young again. I don't know about you all, but sometimes we just want to be a little more careless, but we cannot be because we are adults. But sometimes we can go and play, but not today. Today I have some serious things to talk to you about, and it's about our children. So let us get right to it. International Children and Youth Day. I got to move this. All right. International Children and Youth Day. Just in time. Just in time for school. And what do? We get them more prepared, we shop, make sure they have the right clothes, buy all the materials that they need, and we send them off and trust that they're going to sit in that classroom and just soak up a whole bunch of information. They're going to remember it, and it's going to carry them to the next grade and the next grade, and they're going to get much better as they proceed. But there are also moments when our children do not want to just sit and soak. Instead, they have something to say. They would like to be seen, and they would like to be heard. Now, be seen, be heard. When we think about children and we use that phrase, I know you're all thinking like I'm thinking, wait a minute, that's not how it goes. Children should be seen and be heard. Oh, no, that's incorrect. But it does sound familiar, doesn't it? Well, we know it really says, children should be seen and not heard. That is the proverb. Children should be seen and not heard. We all know proverbs. We've heard them. Some of us will call it mother wisdom, mother wit, things that's been transferred down through generations. We find it in Bibles. We find it in poems. We find it in religious and spiritual writings. We find it just about everywhere, even in our home. Pithy little phrases of wisdom passed down. But we have to remember is that just because it was true then doesn't mean it is true now. Just because you can apply it back then does not absolutely mean that it's applicable now. So as a result, what was once a normal thing suddenly becomes inappropriate. Maybe it's no longer appropriate at all. Maybe we should erase that. Leave it in the rear view mirror. That's what I've heard. Well, there is a Bible verse that I want to talk about. The Christian Bible. And of course, since we're talking about Proverbs, I'm going to tell you something from Proverbs. Here we go. This is one of my favorite Proverbs. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. That's Proverbs 16:24. I'm going to read it again. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. So we think, oh, I can translate that. What in the world does that mean? Well, it's a nice way to say why it's so important to choose kind words, gracious words. I believe it's a very strong and powerful verse because it may sound weak, but it demonstrates the power of choosing words that give life. Choose words that give life. But this very strange idiom, children should be seen and not heard, do you know it stems back to religious views of medieval culture and was meant to be taken literally? They really did want you to just be there. But don't say anything. But be there. A child. Just be still and be quiet. Could you imagine what it must have been like? Those poor babies. Well, I have to let you know that when I was young, I've heard that. Just like all of you have heard, children should be seen and not heard. I heard that repeated, but it wasn't like that in my household. My family had a different way of dealing with us, and it was 6 of us, 5 girls and 1 boy. So, we girls, we were talking all the time, just busy, busy. Well, this is how my parents would say it. They would say, you have to hold your tongue. Hold your tongue. And now I'm thinking about it, I'm writing this, and I thought to myself, you know what? That sounds like another proverb. That sounds like another wisdom. Where did they get these things from? Hold your tongue. Hold it. Hold your tongue. Sometimes things are better left unsaid. Sometimes we have to hold it. But that mighty tongue, you do know she's mighty. This little muscular organ here, she's mighty. She will slice you and dice you. You won't know what happened. Yeah. Let me give you an example. I'm going to give you another one. And you're going to finish it with me. Sticks and stones. I can't hear you. Sticks and stones. Break my big fat lie. Big fat lie. That's an untruth. We all know that, don't we? Woo! You can cut a person deeply with the words that come out of your mouth. And we all know before they get out your mouth, you've been thinking on that thing. That's a whole nother sermon. Okay? So the problem with that is that it definitely is an untruth. Because verbal abuse and bullying in any way is immature, hurtful, and can scar someone for years, even a lifetime. Tame that tongue, my sisters. Tame that tongue, my brothers. She's mighty and she can hurt. Getting back to children should be seen and not heard. I get it turned around too. Is that we've been quoting it incorrectly. So how about that? Children should be seen and not heard. That is not the original. We think it is though, because we've been hearing it. But I got one for you. I'm going to tell you what it is. It actually was young women should be seen and not heard. That's it. That's what it said. I guess young men can be seen and heard. But young women, we were supposed to be very quiet. Those days are over, aren't they? Yes, that was it. So it actually meant that. But I tried to find out, when did this thing change? I want to move, but I got to stay here because I have nothing to clip because I don't have any pockets, so I have to hold still. Anyway, so doing my research, I'm thinking, wow, how come I didn't understand this? How come I never heard this? It was strange that it evolved into children should not be seen and heard, even though it was originally meant for women. So I just want to briefly address that part about the women. After all, I am one. So I'm going to talk about it for just a minute, and then I'll go right back to the kids. We have witnessed the effect that stifling a young woman's voice can cause. I want to tell you this. Here's a quote from Dame News, Fiona Landers. She's a writer, an actor, and a singer. And she says, quote, "Whether it's foretelling political doom or coming forward with sexual assault allegations, women's voices fall on deaf ears." How about that? So that makes me question, when will we ever learn that not listening to women has dire consequences for all of us? Not that I'm bragging, and because I know I'm a woman, but it will. It will have dire consequences. Young women had something to say back then, and we have something to say now as older and grown women. Do not be silenced. But remember how powerful that muscle is. If you say it wrong, you're hurt and harm. Nobody will want to hear you ever again. So that's where I'm at. All right, so let's get back to the children. Instead of silencing the voices of our children and youth here at All Faiths, do you know the winter or the fall-winter theme for our youth is finding your voice? In other words, our children and youth here are seen and heard. Now, I can see, and I mean literally see, that most folks before me today, this morning, are from that age, that time. We remember it. Children should be seen and not heard. We'd sit down, be quiet, eat our dinner. Didn't want to make too much noise at the table, not unless we were invited to. At least that's how it was with me. And I think some people might want to deny it even now. But let's just roll back the memory a little bit. Even though it is not said, all we need to do is look at the frowns when a child cries, or children when they're noisy. Notice the looks, the rolled eyes, the request to be seated somewhere else. Why? Because the young person has changed the atmosphere. And we know how we are as we get older. Change? What? No, everything's fine. This is the way we've always done it. This is the way you cook the food, even though you've been leaving out something for years, because this is the way we've always done it. We know reaction to change is hard for us humans, especially as we get older. We don't want to be stagnant. We don't think that we're stagnant, but we can get a little slow. Yeah, we get a little slow to change, slow to embrace new things. And then I started thinking, well, let me figure out an excuse for why we mature people sometimes are a little slow. And I said, well, we've observed much. We've traveled. Some of us speak multiple languages. We have stellar educations and holder of multiple degrees. We are outstanding. We've had wonderful careers. We've raised our families, and we have settled down in a way of doing and being that is no longer flexible. In short, we become inflexible and resistant to change with age. And I'll say that in more ways than one. On my way here, I'm walking up the walkway, and I saw Pam, and my knee was hurting me. And I thought to myself, man, I need to slow down a little bit. But I kept up with her. I did, and I actually said to her, I don't know, but my knee, and I started talking about my knee. You see, flexibility, not just in our mind, but our body also becomes inflexible. We don't want to be that way. We try. We're like, I can figure out this phone. I could do this thing. And yeah, we can, but we got to keep trying. We got to practice it. We have to keep going at it, and eventually we get it. Just like we tell our children, don't say I can't. Say I'll try. That was what my mother would say to me. Tell Mommy I can't do something, so don't say I can't, baby. Say I'll try. And that's what we have to say to ourselves. Sometimes things get hard, but we have to keep trying. You see, if we try to fight change, what we're really trying to fight is time. And we can't fight time. It's a losing battle. It just keeps happening over and over and over again. That clock, it's just going around and around, because change, like time, is inevitable. We're not going to just hold still. Right now, we are in place. The world is spinning, but we're not falling around. We're still here. We're firm. But things are changing even while you sit here. Every day, we are 24 hours older. And I hope that we are growing wiser each day. But like I said, there's not much we can do about it, except understand that everything changes because time happens. It's no one's fault. Time happens. And yes, time affects the Proverbs. And what was once a great truth and powerful wisdom statement, it was filled with reasoning, it is no longer. In fact, it can be changed to its opposite, as it is today. Our children and youth have something to say, and we're listening. Here's a quote I want to share with you. It's from waterford.org. And my dear sister and my covenant partner, Joyce Rame, She shared this with me, and we included some of it. Waterford.org is a national education nonprofit dedicated to providing high-quality educational resources for our children, families, and communities, addressing the issue of silencing our youth. Here's a quote. When we think of modern-day heroes to teach about in class, it's often people who made a big difference when they were well into their adult years. But young people can and often do make a serious impact on the world. Teaching our children and our youth about young heroes can remind them that they have the power to change the world, even one person or one community at a time, end quote. Beloved, we hear voices of change coming from the youth. No longer are they being seen and not heard. They have taken an old proverb that is no longer appropriate and found their voice. They have learned remaining silent is a form of oppression, and no longer will they shut up and be shut out. In fact, today, we will share with you a few modern heroes who have made a difference in their community from a very young age. Even some have reached the world. Regina?
Malala Yousafzai. As a child, Malala Yousafzai learned in her father's school, one of the few in Pakistan that educated young girls. A girl attending school was considered a challenge to the Taliban regime's authority, and defying them made her a target. She was shot on her way to school by a Taliban gunman, but survived to become a passionate advocate for a woman's rights to education. July 12th is Malala Day, in commemoration of when Malala spoke at the UN to present education as an international human right. Marley Diaz. At 11 years old, Marley Diaz was frustrated that most children's books she saw were not culturally diverse. That's why she decided to launch the hashtag 1000 Black Girls Book Twitter campaign to collect and donate books that would help Black girls feel seen. Marley was able to donate more than 9,000 books through the program, and at the 2017 Forbes Women's Summit, she said of her experience, "I'm working to create a space where it feels easy to include and imagine Black girls and make Black girls like me the main characters of our lives." Sophie Cruz. When Sophie was just 5 years old, Sophie Cruz gained national attention when she gave Pope Francis a letter asking him to advocate for undocumented immigrants like her parents living in the United States. In her letter, she shared, "I have a right to live with my parents. I have a right to be happy. Immigrants, just like my dad, feed this country. They deserve to live with dignity. They deserve to live with respect. They deserve an immigration reform." Since then, she has been a young advocate for immigration rights and has spoken at Supreme Court rulings, the Women's March, and other events across the country. Jocelyn Charger. While growing up on the Cheyenne River Reservation in South Dakota, Jocelyn gained firsthand experience with the mental health struggles teenagers can face. She co-founded the One Mind Youth Movement to help youth who are a part of the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe find support and resources when they're in crisis. Additionally, Jocelyn co-founded the International Indigenous Youth Council. This organization, which has chapters across the United States, provides Indigenous youth with a space to stand together as leaders on issues in the country and in their communities. Orion Jean. 11-year-old Orion Jean founded the Race to Kindness Foundation in 2020. That year, his organization held a race to 100,000 meal event that provided over 100,000 free meals for families across the country. In 2021, Orion was named Time's Kid of the Year for his life-changing humanitarian work. He wrote his first book, a kid's book about leadership, to inspire kids to lead with kindness. Param Jaggi. Param Jaggi is a youth inventor who changed the world through his passion for environmentalism. When he was just 16 years old, he created the Algae Mobile, a device that can convert carbon dioxide emissions from vehicles into oxygen. He was recognized on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list for his contributions to creating clean, sustainable energy. Abigail Lupi. When 10-year-old Abigail Lupi visited her grandmother in a nursing home, she became aware of the silent struggle with loneliness many nursing home residents face. To support and comfort these residents, she founded Care Girls organization. Care Girls helps nursing home patients in New Jersey feel loved and less alone by matching them with young volunteers. I like to brighten people's days and help them have fun. Abigail said that in an interview with the Inspire a Kid podcast. If I do my best, they'll have a smile on their faces by the end.
Wow. You see, they are being seen, they are being heard, they are taking action. Thank you, Regina. Thank you, Carlos. And I had to hold back tears. I was impressed and moved, as if I haven't read it before, but I did. But still, just hearing it, it encourages us. Sometimes we have to let them lead us like we used to lead them. Taking action. So in closing today, let us understand and accept that our children and youth are no longer voiceless, no longer silent, and instead have proven to be completely awake to the conditions of the current world we live in, and how what we do today can and will affect the future world, their future world. And we have to remember, they're going to be looking out for us one day because we keep growing older and they keep growing older, and we need someone to take care of the world and us. So I believe our youth intend to change the trajectory for the better. Some might ask, can young people change the world? Well, absolutely, yes, they can. That's what Obama used to say, yes, we can. Yes, they can too, these kids. Our youth across the world are leading with their heart. You know our song, their heart's in a holy place, a place of hope and love. And that includes being seen and heard in politics, in religion, and activism, rights to education, bodily autonomy, social justice. They deserve a seat at the table. They are seeking to build a world where justice shall roll down like water, just like our song said, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. They are leading with their heart in that holy place, a place of love and hope, as if their life depends on it. And it does. It does. If they don't do something, if we don't do something, things will come to an end. So yes, their life depends on it, and they are moving forward. This morning, to all the children and youth present and in Cyberland, I want, I want to make this a we, if you don't mind. We want, I think you can agree, we want you, our youth, to know that we see you, we hear you, we love and support you within and without of these walls. And we, all faiths, commit to throw off the prison of silent oppression and joyfully join you, our children, and be seen and heard. I hope you all agree. Why? Because one small voice alone cannot do very much, but together, the youth and the adults, we can make a mighty noise, a big shout, a big loud clamoring of good trouble. We can take action. This, to our children, we today, I personally, commit to you. May our village of love expand and our children be blessed forever. Amen. And Ashe.
Thank you, Albie. We appreciate your generous donations, which support our dedicated staff, our beautiful facilities, our inspiring services, our interesting activities, and our social outreach at All Faiths. And if you are on us in cyberspace, you can either mail a check to us or you can visit our website at allfaithsuu.org. And in keeping with tradition, I do have a little joke. Because laughter makes you more generous. Yeah. A little girl dressed in her Sunday best was running as fast as she could and trying not to be late for Bible class. As she ran, she prayed, "Dear Lord, please don't let me be late. Dear Lord, please don't let me be late." While she was running and praying, she tripped on a curb and fell, getting her clothes dirty and tearing her dress. She got up, brushed herself off, and started running again. And as she ran, she once again began to pray, "Dear Lord, please don't let me be late, but please don't push me either." Today's offering will now be taken. Thank you.
Children will listen. Care for the things you do. Children will see and learn. Children may not obey, but children will listen. Children will look to you for which way to turn, to learn what to be. Careful before you say, listen to me. Children will listen. Careful the wish you make. Wishes are children. Careful the path they take. Wishes come true, not free. Careful the spell you cast, not just on children. Sometimes the spell may last past what you can see and turn against you. Careful the tale you tell, this is the spell. Children will listen. Children will listen.
Today's closing words are by Barbara Cheatham. Bring happiness. And now we take our leave. Before we gather here again, may each of us bring happiness into one another's lives. May we each be surprised by the gifts that surround us. May each of us be enlivened by constant curiosity. And may we return together in the Spirit and may we remain together in the Spirit until the hour we meet again. May it be so.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who'd fulfill my need. A lonely place to be. And so I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. And if I fail, if I succeed, at least I lived as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of leads you to a lonely place, find your strength in love.
At this time, I'd like to thank everyone who helps make these Sunday services happen each week. And I'd like to thank all of you for showing up today and sharing your day with us. Thank you, Carlos, for your beautiful gift of music, and Albie for your wonderful message. I appreciate it. We have Brad Davidson on recording and Ed Elrod on sound, and Joe Gayton, who takes care of everybody in the parking lot, and Nicole Racine and Frank Geltner for their hospitality. We're glad that you could be all with us today. And now I'd like to ask Linda Arthur to please come and extinguish the chalice. And as she comes forward, if you wouldn't mind reciting the words that are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. And now please join us for coffee and hospitality in the community room.